Mwasomte abatulaba ku Sibera TV. Kumeo nate ni program yaffe eya bulijjo. Twabagamba nti we'll be bringing personalities. So we're at Metropolitan International University, and by names of Namonge Smaya, I am having the academic registrar of Metropolitan International University. Before going any further, I would like to tell you that you tell a brother, a sister to subscribe, like, share, and follow. Before proceeding, let me give the opportunity to Sir to introduce himself to the public.
My name is Deus Tukamuhebwa, the Academic Registrar of Metropolitan International University. I'm glad to talk to CBR TV, and as a university we are glad since we have had a hand in coming up with products or students who eventually graduate in the area of journalism and media studies. We are glad and we wish the viewers the best.
All right. We are going to share a few things. He's going to tell us about the brief background of Metropolitan International University. Sir, people out there would like to know about the small background of Metropolitan International University.
Well, Metropolitan International University is one of the fast growing tertiary institutions in this country because we've not made decades of years in existence, but we have grown from small to big. We are among the giants in the country. If you look at how we evolved way back as early as 2015, 2016, when we got our license to run a university, by that time we didn't have premises, we were renting, numbers were low, and accredited programs were very few. But as we speak, we have a number of accredited programs. We have our own homes for each of the campuses. Our main campus in Chisoro, we have a Kampala campus in Namungona off Nachivinge Road. We have a Mbarara campus in Mbarara City, Bihar Division. And all these are our homes in the names of Metropolitan International University. We have had a growth in terms of academic programs. We have business courses, accounting and finance programs in education, both science and arts. We have programs in IT, in computing, programs in agriculture, and health sciences of late, and engineering courses have also been added. Simply, we can say we have really grown, and we are growing at a very fast pace. The latest development being the health courses, diploma in pharmacy, diploma in clinical medicine, and diploma in lab technology with their corresponding certificate programs has gotten us at the mileage. We have introduced new engineering courses at both diploma and certificate levels. We have had, we have courses like diploma in architecture, diploma in civil engineering, and electrical engineering. These are very important courses and which give us mileage. We have had key partnerships with the government agencies, our regulator, the National Council for Higher Education, taking a lead because we are a law-abiding organization, and everything we do is in the provisions of the Constitution and is in line with the regulations that govern establishment of the university and other tertiary institutions. I guess in point, for example, we have very active organs of the university. You talk of the University Council, it is in place with its rules and its duties, which performs very well. Talk of the Senate, talk of the students' leadership, all these things are in place. And we see them, they have the autonomy they deserve, they do their roles, and we see the students' body benefit from each of these organs accordingly. For example, the students exercise their leadership roles They have their own leadership, headed by the guild president, of which the university has literal intervention. We guide them, they are guided by the university constitution and the guild constitution, and we see everything moving.
Mr. I would like to help us know, how did you come up with the name Metropolitan, and why did you choose to put international?
Majorly, when you look at metropolitan, it is a big word itself. Then when you add international, it is something bigger also. But when you coin the two, then the expectations or the expected standards are so high. And this is what we promise the public and our clients and the stakeholders, that we are ready to give more than they expect. Because the university, an ordinary university wouldn't have been international or even metropolitan, but something metropolitan is something at the prime, something of a higher standard, and we have lived to exhibit this. In the 5 years of existence as a recognized institution, we have moved both in numbers, in terms of enrollment, in terms of creating university organs and structures, in terms of having our own homes and accredited programs. We have moved very fast, and we would want to promise the public or pledge to our stakeholders, both the students and the parents, that we are ready to keep on the pace. Metropolitan International University will move as the name says. In a short while or in a very short period of time, we work on the clock to have the best.
All right. About the challenges, any institution or any organization faces challenges. So, can you please give us some of the challenges you've faced as an institution?
Majorly, if we would have it put down, the major challenges that affect Metropolitan International University are not far away from the challenges that affect all major organizations in the world. A case in point, for example, we had a COVID-19 influx, so the pandemic. It affected us a lot because most of our students could not manage to adapt to the new mode of learning that was there at the time. We have had challenges where some people have not managed to come back or in their ordinary way. They were affected by the economy because some parents lost jobs. We have those who could not manage to come back, and we have lost some parents in the pandemic. So for that was another challenge. Then we have also had economical challenges. The economy is not doing well. We look at skyrocketing prices of commodities, and generally the economy, when the economy is affected badly, equally the university is affected. And then maybe lastly, most of our students are students from poor backgrounds, and sometimes they meet challenges when relating to the payment of their financial obligations. Students find it hard to meet their basic needs. Some others fail to meet their tuition. But as a university, we have come up with a flexible fees payment policy that allows payment in installments. A student can pay installmentally until such a time that they are able to meet their financial obligations.
In your information, you've said that Metropolitan International University is growing on a high rate, yeah? But we would like to know, how have you advertised it? Which methods are you using to advertise? You said that every person is very conversant with the campus. What are the methods you use?
It's not all about marketing, but also providing reliable services. That's something that the community wants and that is within the area where the community can afford it. We came in to add on to the value of Ugandans in this country or even outside. We look at the segment of the market that we are serving. We came with services that are first class, that are affordable and that allow someone to access higher education. One of the things that we looked at is we had to address the issue of university being affordable. We have come up with the policies that allow a young potential, a bright student who has not the capacity to pay fees. We discovered that there is a funding gap where you find a willing student finishes senior 6, has the qualifications but does not have the money. So where does the university come in? It bridges the funding gap by providing affordable bursaries. For example, we weave off the tuition which such a student would be paying because they don't have the capacity. And unlike most of the other universities where the tuition is so high that someone who would be willing to participate in the university education, someone who would contribute to growth of the country, has no capacity of obtaining a degree, which is a requirement for him or her to serve this country. So as one of the ways of making it possible, we weave off the tuition fees to the bright but the needy students. And by that, we create a difference. And we have had people who had lost hope of coming to the university come back and they have something to add. And that thing has also given us mileage. And also, we have seen our graduates become very employable. For the few tracer studies we have done, we find 95% of our graduates get their first job in the first year, which is something very key and which keeps us moving and moving and moving.
Okay. How many graduation ceremonies have you held so far?
We have had at least 4 graduation ceremonies, very successful ones. And at each of the graduations, we have had a number of graduates, commissioned to go to the world and go to the job market and go to serve people of this country in different capacities. And we have not regretted any. Every year we graduate and we expect our next graduate.
Yes. Mr. Deus, how have you related with the community, the campus, the campus and the community? Haven't you affected many because of the institution, or how have you made it?
One of the cardinal roles of the university or of a university is to engage the communities in which it is embedded, so that it is part of the solutions to the challenges that affect the community. So as Metropolitan International University, we have not failed to attend to the community engagement aspect of the responsibilities of the university in a way that where we have our campuses, at our main campus in Chisoro, at the Mbarara campus, and at the Kampala campus, we relate very well in the communities in several ways. For example, when our students come to the university, one, we do not limit them from associating with the communities. We allow them to, for example, to rent. Those who cannot manage to be in the hostels, we give them a chance to stay in the university hostels. And what does this mean? That we really have the partnership with the communities. Since the students stay in their communities and they come to the university, then there is that link. Or secondly, they also provide market to the goods provided by the communities. And eventually, we find the communities get a touch of the university. For instance, when we have the policies at the university and we have the guidelines given to the students, we see these policies implemented in the communities. For instance, if you must have, let's say, a security tip, or there is something that must be handled in the community, then we get it through our students. Since they move to all the parts of the community, we are able to make an impact through our students. Then we also relate with the other organs within the community. For instance, we have a good relationship with the prayer places, the social aspect of the university this time around. Our students subscribe to different churches, where they have an impact and where they live by example. We have our students who work in different organizations, and by the end of it all, then we see the university coming out in the different forms as the students relate and move to the community, and they have something to add. Because the student who comes in the first year as a fresh student who has nothing, maybe the approach and what they know is different. Now, by the time they're in third year and second year and third year, and by the time they are doing internship, then they have something different they can introduce to the community, and we have seen the community come back to appreciate. In one of the ways, by giving us other students through referrals. We saw your student in this organization and he was doing well. Can someone have a chance? And we have, in one way or the other, had success in that area.
Okay, the last question is that where do you see Metropolitan International University in the 5 years to come?
Well, that's a very good question, but very interesting. In the next 5 years, we see Metropolitan a very different one, because 5 years ago, we saw a Metropolitan which didn't have a home, with very few students, and with miserable systems in place, because it had the basics. At this time, it does not only have the basics, but it has moved to a higher ground. So in the next 5 years, we are seeing a Metropolitan International University which has massive numbers of programs, academic programs. Because if we have had health science courses, we have had business courses, we have had computing, education, and various others. Now, in 5 years' time, we are talking of law. We are talking of PhD programs and master's programs. In 5 years to come, we are looking at hundreds of thousands of staff teaching a very vibrant youth, teaching a very vibrant number of students. And eventually, we are looking at better structures and bigger space. Whereas land cannot be increased, but we see land can be developed, and we see Metropolitan adding on to the land it has and adding on the partnerships it has, as well as other strategic partnerships, in a way that possibly we can have students do internship outside Uganda, to bring about that international acumen. Some students can have their internship elsewhere in the world. We are looking at our e-campus, the electronic campus, which we have had in place. On top of the 3 physical campuses, there is a chance that someone can study online. So we look at this e-campus being a very vibrant campus and having very many students who don't study physically at campus, but who study via the internet and various platforms there.
I think some of the questions you might have about Metropolitan International University are answered. Some of them, though tetumazeyo naye many babyogeddeko. So let's give Mr. Deus an opportunity to give us his last words to the viewers.
Thank you very much, our dear viewers and those who are following CBR TV. We would want to re-echo our pledge as Metropolitan International University. We are committed to the view and our slogan that empowerment through knowledge creation, and this knowledge created is also given out. We are looking at the research, we are looking at teaching, but also dissemination and being very practical, so that we move from the previous or the former way of handling things, where people come to class and attend class and that's all. But we are looking at when people come to class, get knowledge, go to the field and apply it. And then we would have a better country and a better world to live in.
Right. Thank you for the opportunity you've given us. I remain Namonge Smaya. Don't forget to subscribe, share, comment, like. I remain Namongi.